nice to see everyone who is here with us tonight and those who are joining us online too. Um, we do have a quorum and a couple not in attendance right now. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Jones, would you call roll for the vote, please?
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Guffey.
Yes. All right, Dr. Scott, we're going to let you start out with your report.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and welcome to everyone. It's nice to see about more than half of the seats filled tonight. It's like a full house. Here's our, Mr. Alves. Well, about this time last month, we were staring down another winter storm and got fortunate. We made a small adjustment to our school calendar. We made a small adjustment to our school calendar, but it appears that we're going to be in good shape the rest of the way out with the remote learning days that we still have available. It has been a busy time for our maintenance department. Our maintenance staff was out long hours during those cold storms, doing a lot of shoveling and plowing and spreading salt. Not to mention keeping temperamental heating units working properly. So I want to thank them again. But their hard work continues. They're in the process right now of installing windscreens at Virginia Primary School and Virginia High School. These are nice black windscreens that will add a little bit of privacy for our playground, but also some additional signage look pretty sharp as they go up. We also are scheduling the installation of HVAC units at the old gym to control the temperature and humidity there. These were units that we had purchased, I think, a couple years ago, but we haven't installed them yet. So we're going to get those installed as the school year winds down. Also, between now and the time of our April board meeting, we will be in the process of installing a new walk-in freezer at the high school and continuing to work on upgrades to the Virginia High auditorium, where we're doing some rewiring for sound, working on the wireless mics, the mixer, and adding some ADA compliant equipment and doing some other touch-ups as necessary. I think it's been a while since we've gone into the auditorium there and given it the upgrade for the sound system that it needed. And the maintenance department is working with Mrs. Tammy Jones and the finance department to continue to get some bids for roof work that needs to happen at both the middle school and the high school. Our instructional department, our teachers participated in professional development on Thursday. This was some targeted and specific work for our reading, math, science, and special ed teachers. And we also had some offerings for to get teachers a little bit more proficient with Mastery Connect, which is our test bank software. Our central office staff will be participating in a reunification training tomorrow afternoon at Virginia High. This is a little bit of a refresher. We've done a little bit with this each of the last 2 years, but tomorrow we're also expanding that a little bit more, increasing the scale and making sure that, heaven forbid, in that kind of event, that we all know what to do and what materials we need on hand. Mrs. Susan Phillips will be facilitating a visit from the Department of Ed later this month as part of our audit for the special ed program. This is one of our nice welcoming gifts for Susan. As she came on board, we made sure it was in a year where we were having a special ed audit. But she has that well under control, and that will be on March 24th. And then to turn the page to athletics, a little bit of a wrap-up of what we had going on there. I'm sorry, Stephanie, not quite ready for that part yet. With our, we have a special guest in attendance tonight. We'll get to that young man in just a moment. But as far as the VHSL Class 2 state swim meet in Richmond, our girls finished 9th overall. And that was a team with Olivia DeBoard, Ember Wolford, Camden Patrick, Alyssa Harless, Isabella Boss, Leela Cheatham, Eva McBride, and Maine Verstegen. And our boys finished 20th with Shep Parsons, Chance Boss, and Clayton Kaiser. Our VHSL Class 2 state wrestling wrap-up, Marcus Coleman finished 4th in the state, and Anthony Gilbraith finished 5th in the state, and Cale Hess was also a participant there. For indoor track, Region 2D indoor track, our boys were the Region 2D champions. Gamble Stevens was the Region 2D Male Athlete of the Year. Daniel Womack, the Region 2D Boys Coach of the Year. Our girls finished fourth. Our girls basketball team was the Southwest District Region season champs. We had to stave off some competition at the top of the charts there and held on to win the regular season. We were also the Southwest District tournament champs. Spring sports has started, although the weather hasn't really cooperated just yet. Mr. Harper would also like to pass on a note that as far as transportation goes, we do have an item in the agenda tonight about getting some new buses shipped our way. Bus manufacturing is pretty hard to pin down these days, but right now we're looking at purchasing 2 buses that are already manufactured and on a lot ready to come our way. And we continue to have good success with getting drivers into training. And where I would like to wrap up, and Miss Austin, if you'll now cue those pictures, a few different sources of additional pride here for our students. Our students, the self-contained classes at Virginia High and Virginia Middle School, participated in the 16th annual Adaptive Aquatic event here recently, and they were joined by some of our members from Student Council. And it's just another example of kind of treatment that our students with disabilities receive in our schools. They're very well loved. A lot of them are like celebrities in the school, and our students really go out of their way to include them and make them feel welcomed. So this was yet another example of that. And then last, Miss Lucy Foy had an outstanding run en route to a historic second place finish in the state for the American Legion Oratorical Conference or competition. And we're going to have a little bit more information about Lucy in the days to come, and probably have a feature about her online here soon. Madam Chair and members of the board, that wraps up my report for this month.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. As we move on, we have that recognition now of Shep Parsons, who is the state champion 200 freestyle.
Yes, I would like to invite Shep to come up, as long as his swim coach, Coach Woody, here.
I just want to add congratulations, Shep, as someone who swims like a rock, but has been around the pool quite a bit over the last few years watching the high school team. Those are very impressive accomplishments, especially as a freshman. Wish you well as you continue your career at Virginia High. I'm sure this will be the first of many things that you do. So congratulations.
I'd like to say congratulations as well. I spent quite a few years with my kids and my wife also at the pool, so congratulations on that. I had one of my sons was a distance swimmer and one was a sprinter. So uh, that distance is a lot of work. Congratulations.
Well, I enjoyed watching the Winter Olympics. Maybe someday we'll have one of our own on the Olympics. Great job. All right, Dr. Scott, we're going to let you do something else now. There's another recognition that you have.
Last month was officially School Board Appreciation Month, and we decided to punt until this month, and we could have a dinner prepared for you during closed session, and also bestow upon you some gifts here. So at this time, I would like the school board members to come around to the front. We'll present you with a certificate from the VSBA as well as a gift bag. And then right after that, we're going to do the same for our student board rep. We also have one more recognition for our school board clerk appreciation. So this time, would Miss Stephanie Austin and Miss Tammy Jones please come forward? I would like to say before moving on that it is a privilege and a pleasure to have a school board such as yourself. And having worked in a few different systems, can honestly say this is the best board that I've ever had to work with. Had to work with sounds wrong. had the opportunity to work with. um, Thank you for everything that you do for our students, for our staff, and for our school community. And for our student board reps, I received an email from a student at Abingdon High School that said, "Hey, why don't you guys, if you need help getting a student board set up, please let me know." And I wanted to say, wish you would do a little bit better research. We have a very fine student board in place. Thank you for your participation, your willingness to be part of this. And we're going to turn things over to you for your presentation this month.
The Kindergarten Royal Tea Party. Virginia Primary's kindergarten classes came together to bring their Kings and Queens unit to life. Students participated in a tea party, built castles out of blocks, and were able to put stories together through sentence building activities. And then So, as Dr. Scott talked about earlier, our Lady Bearcats basketball team was crowned district champions for regular season. And I haven't checked with them again to see how they're doing with region, but they have started their postseason stuff. So we'll see how far they get. They're doing really well. Okay, this one is also me. Our choir attended all district the weekend of Valentine's Day, and we had 6 kids audition for all state, and all 6 of us got to be delegates, which is really, really cool. I think that's the most we've had in, if not ever, then in several years. So 3 of us get to go for sure, and then 3 are first alternates, and most likely we'll have another kid get called up. So that was really cool. And then obviously Shep just got recognized for his amazing performance at swim state. But every single member of our varsity swim team got to go to state this year, which I think is amazing because it's already hard enough to get there. And then we had our girls relay place, and then Shep, of course, swept. So that's cool as well. So this is all me. Okay, and then indoor track went to region last Friday. And obviously our boys team got first, and Gamble was athlete of the year. But our girls team actually placed third, and that was only with 14 girls attending the event. So that was really cool for us. And we have 17 kids going to state tomorrow.
The certified nursing assistants, which isn't that the nurse aid? All right, nurse aid students were able to perform their first clinical experience at NHC in New Virginia High Scrubs. At the end of the semester, these students will be licensed certified nursing assistants, CNA, upon completion of the course, clinicals, and passing their state board exams. BIS experiments with archery gym coaches. What did you say her name? Jacqueline Lalonde and Jessica Jacobson led their VIS classes through their archery unit in early January. The unit is meant to help kids bone their hand-eye coordination and focus. I got the chance to shoot a few arrows myself, and I can definitely speak to the focus and persistence it takes. That's me.
Thank you.
Thank you for your report. Hey, Dr. Scott, now you have a discussion of your recommendation.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the school board, and good evening to everyone who's present here in the room tonight and watching online. Over the next several minutes, I will be presenting what this is called the Superintendent's Estimate of Needs. And when I've finished my presentation and answered any and all questions from the board, we'll have an action item a few minutes later to approve or reject the budget. I want to note before starting and showing any budgetary numbers that this presentation and the budget to this point reflects the funding amounts and the obligations as indicated in former Governor Youngkin's introduced budget bill from December. The General Assembly and Governor Spanberger still have work to do on the budget, and as we see their final numbers coming about, we will have to update or include those, but we're presenting based on former Governor Youngkin's plan, and if there's any place where we can share some realistic optimism, we will do that. Over the course of the past 2 months, Mrs. Jones and I have had several conversations with individual school board members and members of the city manager's office, our principals, our directors, our teachers, and we have held required public hearings. At every opportunity, these are the 5 budget priorities that we share, and I'd like to take a moment just to go through those. Our priority, meaning the single thing prioritized above all else, is the safety of our school students, our staff, our school community. In terms of the budget, however, compensation is the largest piece of the puzzle, and it therefore is the budgetary priority number 1. Bristol, Virginia Public Schools currently has the best pay scale for teachers in our region, and our director and principal pay scales are also among the top. It is a priority to ensure that our pay scales remain at the top because we're seeing real shortages of teachers and administrators both regionally and throughout the state. A shortage means that retaining quality educators and attracting new educators is more competitive than usual. And while we can't simply neglect other aspects of the budget and increase everybody's salaries, we're going to make a recommendation that will allow us to maintain our edge over the field. Second, our operating budget must have adequate funding to support our academic programs, particularly our reading curriculum, our SOL tested subject areas, and our Bearcat Bridge expansion. We do receive a number of grants to support these areas, but grants alone cannot provide the funding that we need for those programs to thrive. Third in our list is to incorporate the attendance clerks and the attendance officers into our local budget. For the past 3 years, we've paid the most part of these positions have been paid out of a special one-time grant that has not been replaced in the state budget. The men and women in these roles do a tremendous amount of work to communicate with students and their families about attendance, even though we still have much room for improvement in terms of seeing major reductions in chronic absenteeism. We would absolutely move in the wrong direction if we did not have these employees in our school division. The fourth item listed as a priority is to continue to fund a mentor program for our new Bearcat teachers. This item goes hand in hand with item number 1. Research shows that teachers who leave their positions do so primarily for 2 reasons. 1, they found better pay somewhere else, or because they felt number 2, they felt that they did not have support within the system. Our mentor teacher program for all new Bearcat teachers is a fundamental way for us to show that support and to give them everything that they need as they are joining our teaching ranks. And the fifth one, last but not least, we want to continue to be good stewards of the school buildings that the city has provided. Almost a year ago, we completed a comprehensive study of our facilities with the intention of developing a 7-year capital improvement plan. What's been interesting about that is the state has recently thought that that was such a good idea that they're now offering grant opportunities for other school divisions to do the same thing. So we're going to see if we can reverse some cost and see if the state will help us pick up the tab on that. But our plan identifies approximately $750,000 a year in projects that are designed to keep our schools safe, structurally sound, and those plans take into consideration mechanical, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and civil aspects of all of our sites. And we're confident that a planned approach towards maintenance and renovation will be feasible and will lead to longevity in our buildings. So those are those 5 priorities there. Now I know that the members of the school board have heard this spiel before and are very familiar with the basics of school funding and state and local aspects. But I always hope that there's somebody hearing this for the first time and that is interested in how the funding comes together. And if so, somebody in that position would benefit from what I'm about to say here. Conceptually, the state gives us money for public education, and each locality gives money for the schools in their school division. Overall, the state is supposed to fund 55% of the estimated cost of public education, leaving the remaining 45% for the localities to pay. The funding model takes into consideration the tax base of the localities, which allows for more state support for a higher funding level in localities that do not have a strong tax base, and in localities that are wealthy and have great fiscal ability, the state percentage of funding is lower. The local composite index, or the LCI, is a measure of a locality's ability to pay. The lower the LCI, the higher the state contribution, and vice versa. The latest calculation of Bristol's local composite index, can advance the slide one more time, please. The latest calculation of Bristol's LCI showed an increase from 29.77% up to 33.21%. In other words, for every $100 that is estimated to be the cost to run our schools, the state would be paying $70.23, and the locality would have been paying $29.77. With this increase, the locality is now going to be paying $33.21 per 100, and the state paying $66.79. So that might seem small, but what you'll see here in a couple slides is that increase actually amounts to the locality having about $1.5 million of increase for what they're required to pay, which is a heavy lift for our locality. This increase in local ability to pay was the fourth largest in the state this year, in a year when more than half of the state's school divisions had an increase. While an increase in local ability to pay is, perhaps just statistically speaking, a good thing, in reality it means that our locality is required to pay approximately $1.5 million more in the new budget than they do in the current budget year. And if you just tuned in, that is through no fault of the schools, that is through no fault of the city. That increase just reflects the true valuation of real property from 3 years ago. That coincides with the temporary casino. So, based on the former governor's budget bill, the city of Bristol's required local effort, including payment of debt services, will be $10,947,682. As you can see there in the top line, midway through there. That does include debt service. Again, this marks a $1.535 million increase in the city. Okay, and so now looking at some of the other funds, these are basically 5 accounts that are somewhat independent of our overall budget. You can see, if you look just at the middle columns there, the proposed revenue and the proposed expenditure, they're not always one-to-one matches, but if you look all the way to the right on the anticipated ending balance, nothing goes into the red here, and I'll explain just as we go through kind of what you see in front of you. The school nutrition balance, we have a healthy starting balance, and those proposed and revenues and expenditures match up. That is a self-funding program, so what they bring in is really what they're allowed to spend. Textbook funds, we have a healthy starting place. We are looking at a textbook adoption in this budget year, and that will be for math textbooks. That $900,000 is kind of just a placeholder right now, but we know that we are starting in a healthy enough place not to run that account into the red. The school construction fund, this was one-time money years ago from the state, and that is, we continue to make payments from that account to Virginia Intermediate School. The fourth one, the local capital projects, this is some money that we're allowed to carry over, and we put about $200,000 in that each year, and then get another $20,000 in interest from that. But that $530,000 worth of proposed expenditures is related to the capital plan that I just referenced a couple moments ago. And then fifth, the school activity funds. Again, this is sort of a dollar in is a dollar out. The $950,000 there just kind of represents a fair estimate of the receipts that we'll handle going through those school activity funds in the upcoming year. Now to get into kind of the fun part of how we're proposing to spend the money in this new budget. Governor Youngkin's introduced budget in December had language in it about a 2% increase for salaried increase for SOQ staff in year 1 and year 2 of the biennium budget. The way that Bristol is proposing to tackle that is to make sure that all employees get a step on the scale that they're on and a 2% increase. So that's going to be probably just a little bit more than the 2% when you take the step and the adjustment into consideration. This is one place where there's some discussion at the state level, particularly on the Senate side, of that number perhaps increasing, and if that's the case, we will continue to take that up. Secondly, we have decided to address certain supplements. We have right many teachers that have a master's degree, and some who have a doctorate degree, and some who qualify for longevity pay. We had not touched those supplements in many years, but we are going to take some measures to increase those supplements for master's and doctorate and longevity. So those are designed to help us retain the quality and high qualified staff that we have there. Last year, we introduced a cost sharing program for health insurance, whereby instead of, unfortunately, we aren't able to sustain completely free premiums for our staff. We had to introduce a measure to do some cost sharing. Looking at the increase for the cost of premiums in our healthcare program, we were looking at a 12.3% increase. And rather than passing that increase along to the employees, we're able to keep that steady. So we're not adding any more cost sharing there. But that is one of the things that we are accomplishing in the budget is taking on that increase through the school budget rather than pushing that down to the employee. With the school capital needs, one of the things that we discussed with our board members throughout the budget process was the need for some new desks and chairs at the high school. So we have added a line that we will continue to replenish year after year to meet those student furniture needs. And this year we're going to direct that towards the high school. We, as I mentioned just a moment ago, with our budget priority number 3, the attendance officers and attendance staff clerks, we have secured funding for them in the local budget, so we're happy to know that their roles will continue. And we've also moved one bus driver and one aide position from our federal Title VI-B funding, which is reserved for special education. We've moved that into the local budget. Doing that creates a little bit more flexibility in the Title VI-B funding, which gives us essentially more spending power out of that title allotment. So looking at the zoomed out picture again, you can see the increases I talked about, the state revenue there, the increase on the top right is a very modest increase from the state, but that is balanced out by the local revenue increase there. So as everything comes together, we're looking at about $3 million in new monies for the upcoming budget. Okay, and then as we look at the expenditures, kind of hit these line by line quickly. In instruction, the little over $2 million increase, that is largely the effect of compensation increases for our instructional staff. When we look at administration, attendance, and health, this shows the addition of those attendance clerks and attendance officers. That basically accounts for the $193,000 there. In transportation, we have increased. Well, we've created a new line item that is much like what I just said about the furniture at the high school. This will be a line item that we hope to replenish each year for replacement of vehicles that we have in our fleet. So we're going to put $75,000 in that this year, but there's also some small personnel adjustments there. With facilities, the lion's share of that $600,000 increase is the I think roughly $530,000 dollars that we put up as a local match for the school assistance or the school construction assistance program grant. That is a just over $1 million project that is going to be renovations for the middle school, HVAC, and some other mechanical things there. Debt service showed a $18,000 decrease. And with technology, we have some personnel changes. Regrettably, we're going to be saying goodbye to our chief technology officer, and his massive salary is actually offsetting some of the increases that we're seeing in. I hope Jeff's listening somewhere, but that's going to offset some of the increases that we see in our software costs. So again, all told, we're looking at an even increase in revenue matched with a balanced budget for the expenditures there. And this is a graphic that I like to show just so that everybody can kind of see when we talk about, adding $600,000 here or another $1 million there, that the preponderance of our money, 70% of that is still in instruction. I think a good rule of thumb for that is that you always want that to be over about 65%. Most of our costs are related to compensation in any event, but the distribution of where our expenditures goes, I think this is right where it needs to be, and in a very healthy position going into next year. But at this time, if there are any questions from the board, I will do my best to answer those, and may call on Tammy if there's anything that is too detailed for me. Thank you.
It looks.
I'm sorry.
I think it looks a good looking budget. You do what you can do, and we worked hard on the years I've been on the board to be able to give our faculty and staff raises every year, and I'm glad we're able to do that again this year. There's been years when it's been nominal or just a form of a bonus, and a 1% raise and insurance goes up 2%. Our teachers are still losing money, but I'm glad we're able to at least keep up with that.
Yes, sir. And as Mrs. Jones can attest, we have great partners in the city manager's office. Ms. Bradlin understands our situation, understands the landscape for the city as far as the fiscal outlook. And I know that there are school divisions nearby that are not as fortunate as we are. We're not in a position right now to ask for more than what is required, but I'm very pleased to say that with the funding that is required, I believe we can still see some great changes here and have a very healthy budget going into next year.
I feel like we've been fortunate to be able to. We've never been able to ask for more than a lot more than what is required, but we do a whole lot with little, and that just goes to Ms. Jones and our leadership here, everybody in administration, just getting the best bang for our buck, and I've appreciated that over the years.
I'll second that. I mean, it's good. We can like to do more, but stuff in here, I think, is what we can do, and I'm glad we're able to. I'm also glad to see that we're starting to work on that capital plan and get some things like you said about the fixtures and furnishings and vehicles in a rotation so that they don't come up as surprise kind of costs. You can plan and budget and make sure that you not only are compensating the teachers well, but they're in facilities and have the equipment they need to do their job. Because if you're talking about that thing, if you look at that, that's almost 90% where our money's going is those two items.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is public comment. I do not have any cards unless anyone has a comment you would like to make at this time. And if not, we will move on. Okay, to consent agenda. which are the items that are grouped together that we act upon together as a single action, unless someone needs to pull out something and wants to act separately on any item.
I would like to act separately on section C of that, particularly trying to find it here, the student athlete concussion.
Policy JJAC.
Correct. I would motion to separate that from the consent.
Do I hear a second on that? Okay, so this will be to pull out A and B, which the bills and the minutes we'll act upon as one, and then pull out the policies and take those. We'll do those separately, each policy separately that way.
Thank you. You're all right with doing all the
All right,
policies.
doing all the
except
policies together
just that
minus
one, JJAC.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, doing it together except for
right. So I believe we have a motion and a second to separate that one. So if you could hear a motion to approve A and B, and then we can act on the remainder.
C, I'll accept the JJAC. Okay. All right. Then, Mrs. Jones, we need a roll call for that vote, please.
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaffey.
Yes. So now we will take the approval of the payment of bills and approval of minutes together. Do I hear a motion to approve those two?
I make a motion to approve A and B.
Second.
Okay, then Mrs. Jones, would you call roll for that vote, please?
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaffey.
Yes. All right, for the approval of the policies that include all except the JJAC, the student athlete concussion policy. Do I hear a motion to approve those?
I'm motion to approve those.
Second.
Okay, Mrs. Jones, would you call roll for that vote, please? Would you call roll for that vote, please?
I thought you were discussing. Sorry. Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaffey.
Yes. Right, so for the JJAC, it's student athlete concussion policy, can be tabled for right now. If we need to discuss that at this time, we might do that. Any question about?
I'm just. Would you like to speak to it, sir?
Just some questions here concerning the language of the policy concerning return to play protocols that are in there. And, I guess the lack of language that outlines policies that we have to follow before a student can or an athlete can return to play after.
And just for more context on that, we have some language in our local procedures that is a little bit more stringent than what is in the VSBA policy. We want to make sure that we are getting those in harmony rather than approving a policy that is perhaps less effective than what we already practice.
So then, do you have comment? We can then address this at another meeting.
You need a motion to table it.
I think if it just is left alone, it's tabled.
All right, moving on to action items. The first one is the approval of the 2026-2027 school board budget. Do I hear a motion for that?
I make a motion to approve the 2026-2027 school board budget as presented.
Any discussion on that budget at this time?
No discussion, but thank you to Mrs. Jones and the finance department, Dr. Scott, for really making the whole budget process pretty easy, at least for me, I guess. And the way you laid everything out, you put together a pretty conservative budget with things in it that I like. Maybe the rest of it, I guess we're about to find out. But thank you guys for the hard work. I know it's a pain in the neck probably to have to sit and do all that, so thank you for your hard work.
I'll agree, and the work isn't done, so I'm sure that will change what Governor Young submitted. Hopefully,
It's only increasing. Well, in all seriousness, there is we're hopeful that any increases rendered by the General Assembly are through a hold harmless action, which would not require a local match.
Yes, and it is for me. I'm very thankful that the way you lay it out helps me to understand that. So then, Mrs. Whoa. So then, what did you call the roll? Okay, well, it's fine. I was loud. Yeah. Yes. Can you hear me now? Okay, Mrs. Jones, call the roll for that vote, please.
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gethy.
Yes. All right. 5B is the approval of the 2025-2026 school board budget revision number 4.
Yes, ma'am. This is small changes as we head towards closeout for this fiscal year. These revisions include principal requested transfers to close out certain budget items and just small revisions on grants.
Do I hear a motion?
Move that we approve the budget.
Second.
Any other discussion? All right. Mrs. Jones, would you call the roll for the vote, please?
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gethy.
Yes. Item C is the approval of the contract purchase greater than $50,000 for student laptops.
Sure. This is for the purchase of 600 Dell laptops. These will be new devices for students in grades 6, 9, and 11. This is an annual purchase so that we make sure that we're always, it's part of the sustainability effort for our technology.
Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve the contract greater than $50,000 for student laptops.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Just one question. Just the way things are now with the technology, is there any, like we put this now, any anticipated delays? If you order these, will they be ready?
I would say that ordering these now is our best bet. Now, the price on these is comparable to what we've paid in the past. I think that Mr. Shelton said that we would lose a little bit of functionality as far as touchscreen capabilities and an Ethernet port, but basically the same machines that we've been getting.
Right, Mrs. Jones, would you call roll, please?
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gethy.
Yes. Item D is the approval of the contract purchase greater than $50,000 for a 22-passenger yellow bus and a 72-passenger yellow bus.
Yes, ma'am. These are 2 buses I mentioned at the top of the hour where these are already on a lot. These are waiting to be shipped our direction, promised to be delivered before July 1st and in play for the next school year.
Excellent. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the purchase of 2 school buses.
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, Mrs. Jones, would you call roll for the vote, please?
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gethy.
Yes. Item E is the approval of, or contract purchase greater than $50,000, the E-rate networking switches and access points for $269,717.38.
I was given a seminar on access points by Madam Chair at the beginning of the meeting. But this will increase our ability to access the internet throughout our schools. This is recommended by Mr. Shelton.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And these I was explaining to Dr. Scott have to be placed. They're now in classrooms. They used to be in hallways, and it just wasn't signal bouncing off the way that I understand how signal bounces off of walls, and especially cinder block walls. It's just better to do it like this. I mean, yes, it is expensive, but it's much needed as the way we do things now. So, Mrs. Jones, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle, Mrs. Gethy.
Yes. All right. That concludes our action item session. I appreciate everyone coming tonight. So, Mr. Hartley, would you lead us into closed session?
Pursuant to Section 2.2-3711A1A2 of the Code of Virginia, I move that the board convene a closed meeting for the purpose of discussing the following matters: discussion of certain personnel, recommendation for employment and resignation, approval of request for release from compulsory school attendance due to religious convictions, number 06 CA 2025-2026.
I'll say.
Mrs. Jones, would you call roll, please?
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gethy.
Yes. Thank you for being here with us. Hartley, would you lead us back into public session?
The Bristol, Virginia School Board certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements for Virginia law were discussed in a closed meeting, and only such public matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were considered.
Second.
Mrs. Jones, would you call roll, please?
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaffey.
Yes. Now I need a motion to approve attachment A.
I make a motion to approve attachment A.
I second.
Mrs. Jones, would you call roll, please?
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaffey.
Yes. And we need a motion to approve attachment B.
Make a motion to approve attachment B.
Second.
Mrs. Jones?
Mr. Alvis,
Yes.
Mr. Hartley,
Yes.
Mr. Slagle,
Yes.
Mrs. Gaffey.
Yes. Any old or new business? I would like to say thank you for the recognitions and the
Yes. Thank you.
certificates and the little things. It was very nice, very nice. And the meal was really good. All right, nothing else then. The meeting is adjourned.